Hello and welcome to the Blackout podcast where I get to talk to amazing people who do amazing things. And today I'm so excited to have the owner of Celebrate Your Curves, Navdeep. Thanks for coming to the podcast today. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Very excited to be here.
I want to say congratulations on your Viewer Choice Awards and the Innovator of the Year award. Let's start with the Innovator of the Year award from Iceland. How did that happen? How did you find out?
I was actually finalist and the honorable mention for that.
Oh, wow.
And someone nominated, and then I got to know that I was finalist of the award. Wasn't thinking, I was not expecting that, but it just happened. Same with Viewer's Choice. We went for a fashion show. It was my first fashion show in Dalhousie University. And I brought the award home, and it was 2 wins in one go.
That's freaking awesome. That's freaking awesome. Congrats on all your success. So let's start. What is Celebrate Your Curves?
Sure.
Yeah.
Celebrate Your Curves is a professional clothing line for individuals of all sizes and shapes. We're kind of walking away from the concept of labeling clothing as men's, women's, and more like a piece of fabric. And then second line of clothing with Celebrate Your Curves is adaptive clothing. So for people with disability, mobility needs, for example, Velcro closures and magnet closures for easy movability and stuff like that.
Oh, why is that important to you?
My brother was physically handicapped, and growing up, I always noticed that he had challenges with the clothing. And oftentimes he felt shame because it's a different culture. Anybody can just come in your homes, and then he'd feel shame a lot of time because we would still be helping him. And he was a heavy fella with the clothing, and there was no clothing that could be just done by himself. That's kind of the motivation for it. And that's why I wanted to have Celebrate Your Curves for adaptive clothing.
Wow. Okay, so what is the origin of the story? How did you start the business?
I actually started this year in 2024. In May, I finally registered to Access Nova Scotia. It was a big leap of faith. I wanted to do it for a while, but I just was like, enough is enough. Let's get it done. It's 2024. Yeah, so that's kind of how it started.
And then, have you always made let's rewind. What is your own fashion story? How did you get into fashion?
My main focus was on, I kind of put it this way. It's a story from having clothes donated to me in the childhood because I come from a very middle poor family. And then my mom was working in a government job as a nurse, and she still is. So she often get clothes that were donated to her to wear for the kids. From there to journey, then building your own brand. I know a lot of time people start a fashion brand when they have a lot of experience or education in fashion. For me, it's more of a survival guide and a different journey than having a fashionista. It's more like what it means and to create clothing being in your survival mode for the abilities that nobody even thought about. So that's kind of
I think for me, I love how personal it is. It's coming from a deep place. It's coming from the experience of how you grew up with your brother and your own experience too. So it's almost as if each piece of fabric you work with has its own story. You know what I mean? Okay, so what was your decision behind moving to Canada?
It was not my decision, actually.
Oh, no.
It was my family's decision. Like I said, we were 2 siblings, my brother and I, and my brother was had a muscular dystrophy, so he was on wheelchair and totally dependent on my parents. And the culture was kind of becoming that folks were moving to other countries for better future, for future, like better education and stuff like that. And my parents decided that for me to move so that I can build a career, feed myself, and then when they are in their old age, I can support them. Because usually that's a responsibility of a son in our culture. But knowing that he wouldn't be there or he had needs, special needs, I kind of stepped into that role of a son.
For you, stepping in as kind of like the role of a son, that must be a huge responsibility. How do you navigate that?
It is, and I feel like my parents had engraved this responsibility since I was a child, so it's easy to take that role on. And oftentimes I talk about not remembering my childhood. It is because of having that responsibility and then your childhood kind of disappearing because you were acting like a responsible one from. It's easy now. My brother passed away, but I'm very close to my family, and I've already, I think, made them proud, but it's still not enough because I'm super hard on myself too.
Oh my God. My condolences on your brother.
Thank you.
But like I feel his memory and lives on in every piece of fabric and every piece of outfit you make, because especially with the
Adaptive clothing.
adaptive one. I was like, I didn't say that right. With the adaptive clothing, it's like really inspired by his experience. And actually yours, because you had to play a role in that too. Okay, so you moved to Canada to study, I guess?
Yes.
Fashion?
No.
Oh, okay.
I did early childhood education.
Oh.
So I'd done back home special education to work with children with special needs. And again, that was from my brother, and I wanted to do something about that. So I did a little bit different here in culture is that it's inclusive education here, and back home it's exclusive.
Oh.
So there are only schools that are just for children with special needs.
Gotcha.
Here it's all inclusive altogether.
Okay.
But yeah, that's what I studied, and then I'm studying adult education now. I have 2 more courses to go.
God damn it. And then you're like, oh, it's not enough that I'm doing all this studying. I'm going to start a business. Where do you get the time to do all that?
I guess you make the time for it. I have big goals and big visions and big motivations as well. A lot of responsibilities, so I can't just give up. I have to work this hard to make it happen.
Smokes. That's man, and the way you navigate it with a smile, I'm like, I'd be cracking up now. It's true. I'm so brittle. Okay, so celebrate your curves. Let's talk about the name itself. How did you come up with that name?
I wanted to. So the idea first was to create a clothing brand for just plus size women, because I'm plus size woman and I have a hard time finding clothing, and I wanted to just dedicate it to professional clothing because I love professional clothing. I love wearing blazers, stepping into places like I'm the boss. I love that. But then I was like, I am not the person to create another void in the society, especially in the times of this when we already have so much void. So I don't want to just create for just one category. I want this brand to be inclusive and a space that celebrates everyone. So that's why the first name that I wanted to give was Embrace Your Curves, which was taken. So then I started with Celebrate Your Curves, which fit perfect, and it was a dream kind of come true.
Yeah.
And big focus is on CC, curves, and celebrating, because that is the goal. Confidence and celebrating that was the goal. So that's how I named it.
Stepping like a boss, like you
Yes,
said.
exactly.
Yeah, I know. It kind of shows. So what's the process? Like, I want an outfit from Celebrate Your Curves. What happens?
So we will book an appointment. We will take your measurement. It's a made-to-measure concept. So we make only clothing that's for...
Oh, so it's like personalized, like
Yes.
It's made for me.
Yes.
Holy smokes.
Yeah, and so we will take your measurements and we will talk about what type of fabric you want, any designs. For example, you'll notice some designs as well, whether it's plain. some features as well. So I made a recent piece that I made for someone who has a little bit hard time with their thumbs and struggling with buttoning up their blazers. So what we did instead, we put the buttons just for the showcase, and we put magnet closures, so it just attaches and they don't struggle with that. So depending on those styles or designs or features they want, we take the measurements, send it to our manufacturer, which is my aunties. They make the pieces, and then takes about 3 to 7 days, depending on how much of the beadwork it is. And
like this one,
Yes.
this is detailed as
Exactly.
crazy. I saw this, I was like, this is on his hand, like, kind of hand.
It's
you
a
have to-
mix of machine work
Oh, okay.
and handwork.
Yeah, but like it's so detailed, especially the black one too. It's so detailed. I'm like, oh my god, that's a lot of work.
Yeah. So that takes about 3 to 7 days, depending on the design and how detailed it is. And then takes about 2 weeks to come here.
Oh, okay.
So
Oh my
3
god,
weeks.
that was before what's it called? That was at least Canada Post is back now.
Yes. Very happy with that.
Yeah, cause oh my god, that messed up so. How did that affect your business?
Not too much, because I had prepared a little bit earlier
Okay.
for the Christmas time, because it's usually a busy time. It's also my first year too, so I like to be prepared a little bit ahead of the time. And then Purelator was there to save the day.
yeah, Purelator came in too. God damn it. I'm like, I have friends that the business took a hit because of the Canada Post thing. I'm like, man, we kind of anyway, I'm not gonna go into my own rant. So and then I get the outfit. Say I mean obviously it's me to order, but like do you do if I want like updates done to it, like it didn't fit well or whatever, like what do they call not amendments but like
Altering.
yes
Yes, we can get that done too
okay.
here as well.
Okay. And like with the design, what is that process itself? Do you like draw it out?
I usually do the sketches. So whatever your style is, we can design something. For example, I did one of the pieces for a client. They wanted a spruce green for Christmas, and
what's that?
a spruce green color
Okay.
blazer with the beadwork on. Pearl work on the arms. And I designed it because I didn't want it too much, because we usually do have one that's heavy. So I designed a little bit of pearl work on their arms, and they loved it, and then we got that piece made. So I do design depending on how you want it.
But like I don't know. I'm like I don't know what I want. Like I want a Navdeep exclusive. I don't know what I want. Do you do that type of stuff too, or must I have a say in the design?
I will ask you all the right questions
Right.
to know what would work and what would you like.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cause like I don't friggin' know what I want for designs too. So it's been coming to a year for curves for celebrate your curves. What are some goals? Because you say you have all these huge, massive goals. What are some things you have down the horizon coming up for you?
I hope that we get involved in more fashion shows this year, like in the coming year. That's one of the goals. I also have on my agenda to have a special school made in India, but that's probably not for this year. It's probably going to take a couple of years, 5 to some years.
When you say special school, what do you mean?
Schools for children with special needs.
Oh.
We still don't have those schools. When I was taking special educations, I had to travel to another province to take that courses, and it's still the same. So I want to have that school built close to my town so that people in my town has access to it. So that's one of the goals, but it's a long-term goal.
Yeah.
Another thing for next year is that we have only announced that we launched our adaptive clothing line, but in the new year we're gonna work more closely with long-term care facilities to have the trial phase or the pilot phase, try out the clothing. How does it fit does it help you in any way, or more like a customer discovery phase.
Yeah.
And then openly kind of, I'm also hoping to have it a little bit of business model change into more social enterprise.
Oh, right. For people that might not know what it is, you want to share a little bit about what a social enterprise is?
For now, we're like a sole proprietary business model, but I kind of want to make it to a business social enterprise, so we can also support the people who need those clothing but can't necessarily afford it. That's also my goal.
You have such a good heart. I like, yeah. She's like, no, we want to, of course, make profit, but we also want to give back.
Yes.
Why is that important to you?
I guess it's a lot of lived experience coming from a place where you didn't have anything, and looking back, it's very close to my heart. And my brother also, it's very personal. Even now the manufacturer, my aunties are making the clothes, and then they get to send their daughters to school and have an income. So it's very close to my heart. I was one of those girls. I had never thought I would come this far. So that's the motivation that gets me going, and that's kind of why I'm doing it.
No, that's such a powerful story. And like, I find it also inspiring because you feel so passionate about this thing, but then you put in the effort to do the work to make it get to where you want it to go. Talking of that, so someone is listening or checking out this episode of the podcast, and they're like, I want to be Navdeep, or like Navdeep. Like, what I guess words of encouragement would you have to share?
The one thing that I always say is to not give up. And I say this because, we often hear this, oh, don't give up, keep going. But what does it really mean to not give up is that don't give up on your dreams. It will happen someday. Don't give up when you feel lonely, when you feel like you can't do this. Don't give up when people doubt you, because it happens. Society doesn't really support you first. You're on your journey, on your path by yourself in the first initial phases, and then people start to join you. So don't give up on the hard days, and the good days will come. That's kind of one thing that I can say.
Okay. One question I have though, obviously you've had difficulties, but what are some things that helped you through those hard days?
Camping. I absolutely love camping. That's it's been my healing journey too.
Really?
Because staying away from my family during COVID, and my brother passing away, I didn't have really any family or support system here to lay back on. So camping's been my grief healing, all of my journey.
Wow.
And it's also kind of been take a deep breath, take the time you need to heal, and then go back and crush it. So I would say just connect with whatever way heals your heart. It doesn't have to be camping, but it is for me.
Yeah.
But whatever heals your heart and then makes you feel better and takes a deep breath, that's your healing
That's your thing.
Okay,
yeah. So how do you now celebrate your wins, like, the awards? Because you put in so much effort, but sometimes I find people like yourself that work so hard, they don't even enjoy the wins when they come. So are there things you do to celebrate your wins, like the, audience Viewers Choice Award and stuff like that? How do you celebrate that?
I'm still working on celebrating myself. I know that our brand is Celebrate Your Curves, and everyone should be celebrating. I am very hard on myself, and I have still yet to it's a long way to go still for me to start celebrating myself. Only because I do put a lot of pressure on myself.
Well, the pressure shows because these pieces are freaking amazing. And let's actually talk about each piece. So what is the story behind this?
This is one of the fall jackets, and I love check designs.
I love this one.
They disappear and then they come back during Christmas time. So I love all the check designs. So we make these fall jackets and stuff, and it's all unisex. And these ones are more bright colors, party wears and stuff. This as well, more when you are the pop star
I like
or
the
the
beadwork is
eye-catching.
crazy, yeah.
Yeah.
And I think what does it for me is that it's black on black, but the thing is
It's
sparkly too.
sparkly and shiny,
So
yeah.
it's, like, oh man, that, because like black on black, I don't know, but it's sparkling, it stands out. I love it, I love it, I love it, I love it. And these are obviously custom pieces. So when you want to make something for you, what is the process? Like,
For myself, this is also our piece, and I made it for myself.
wow.
It's the same process. They have my measurements by now. I just design what I
I'm
want
like
to.
that one.
For example, I'll talk about one of the blazers that I worked on myself, and I really wanted to do a logo, but I didn't want to do a tiny logo that is not noticeable. So I did a Celebrate Your Curves logo on the left side, and it's probably 5 inches,
Oh, okay.
and it looks really good. Every time I go to either a pop-up market and stuff, and I wear that blazer, and it goes with everything. It's similar process to making blazers for others, for myself too. I just like to do a little bit more of
Extra.
extra promotion for myself
Right,
too.
right,
Like
right,
she's a
right.
walking promotion
Right.
for her own brand, and it should be the way.
Talking about pop-up markets and the award you won, how do you prepare for fashion shows? Because that's something you want to do more of.
Yes, that was our first fashion show. It was back in August, and I'm connected with there's an organization called United Color of Fashion. It's in St. John, New Brunswick. A mutual friend kind of connected us, and that's when they said we would like for you to come to this fashion show. So for any fashion show, I usually do a volunteer call of models if anyone's interested, and then I also can do like a paid call for models that are professional models that they're interested in wearing the pieces. We do a trial basis, see if what pieces fit them or what pieces they like and stuff, and then go from there to practice with the walks.
Oh my God, that's so much work. And you make it look so easy. I'm enjoying a chat and all the things you've been like creating so far. But there's this question that I love ending the show with, and a friend of mine asked me this question. It sticks with me, and it's like, what is something that happened before you were 17 that plays a huge role in who Navdeep is today?
I guess most of what I'm doing is before that, because growing up in a different culture and then also not knowing about the healing journeys or mental health is a thing that also motivates it. And then also seeing firsthand the experience with my brother, and then mom and dad were working, and it's a different culture as well. So that kind of all of that shapes too. My mom, she works full time, and then she was also taking care of my brother full time as a mom. Him being on the wheelchair and always needing her for everything, even for bathrooms and stuff. So that kind of shaped a lot of my mentality, and then the woman that I'm becoming growing up now. So it has a lot to do with my mom, and she's real my ideal, and that's why I started writing poetry at the age of 13 or 14. So it has a lot to do with my mom.
Wow. Yeah, thanks for sharing that. Thanks for sharing that. You've brought so much magic to the studio, and I'm going to let you go with a little piece of magic on my own. So, this is a marker and a paper. I want you to write a number, any number between 1 and 60. Do not show me. Once you've written the number, you can show the cameras. And I'm going to use these magic cards to try and guess what your number is, hopefully.
Okay. 1 to 60?
Yeah, 1 to 60, yes.
Should I write it?
Yeah. But don't show me though. Once you're done, you can show it to the camera. Hopefully, it should work. Okay, you ready? Okay. Okay, so your number is gonna be in at least one of these cards, but it might be more than one. Okay.
Okay.
So is it here?
Yeah.
Oh shoot. Okay. Is it here?
No.
No. Okay. Is it here?
No.
All right. I'm liking this. Is it here?
No.
Okay, that's not good. Is he here?
Yep.
Okay. Is he here?
Nope.
And those are the only two the thing is? Okay.
Yep.
So Navdeep is your number 17?
How'd you know?
Magic!
Oh my goodness. You have to teach. How do you know that?
I want to say thank you so much for coming today and for bringing these beautiful pieces to the studio. Also, thank you for the awesome work that Celebrate Your Curves is doing, and congrats on all your success in the future.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.